What are you thankful for? Looking at the devil, grinning at his gun. Fingers start shaking, I begin to run. Bullets start chasing, I begin to stop. We begin to wrestle. I was on the top. I want to thank you for letting me be myself again. Thank you for letting me be myself again. Sly Stone wrote that. If you're like me and we're on the wrong side of the 2024 presidential election results, you may be wondering if you have anything to be thankful for this Thanksgiving. The recent nominees chosen to oversee our most powerful agencies appear to be the least qualified people on the planet. At least we can all breathe a sigh of relief at the departure of Matt Gaetz. To all of you, I would say, look where you live. Look how you live. And then do an internet search on how other people around the world live compared to you. You live in a relatively safe state, not as safe as it once was, perhaps, but still pretty safe. We have more undeveloped land than developed land. We still have clean air and somewhat clean water. The latter could be better if we could cease using toxic chemicals to kill weeds in our lakes when there are non-chemical alternatives. Based on the current trajectory, 622 million people, or 7.3% of the global population, are projected to live in extreme poverty in 2030. This means about 69 million people are projected to escape extreme poverty between 2024 and 2030, compared to about 150 million who did so between 2013 and 2019. In addition, 3.4 billion people, nearly 40% of the world's population, will likely live on less than $6.85 per day. If growth does not accelerate and become more inclusive, it will take decades to eradicate extreme poverty and more than a century to lift people above the $6.85 per day poverty line. That's according to the U.S. Census Bureau. Roughly 10% of our fellow Vermonters are living in poverty. Think about this the next time you go anywhere. 1 out of every 10 people you see are living in poverty in Vermont. We have more and more people of means moving to Vermont, which drives up the cost of housing right along with the cost of living. There was a time when people who lived in poverty were still able to survive, and in many cases, survive with dignity. I went to elementary school with a girl my age who lived in a house with a dirt floor. She was always well-dressed and very polite, albeit a little shy. I don't recall anyone looking down their nose at her, probably because we all knew each other, and our status in the community wasn't determined by your wealth so much as it was by your character. I grew up in South Dorset, Vermont, with people from all walks of life. There were the local kids and there were the summer kids. The latter were kids from reasonably well-off families who had summer places. We all treated each other the same, more or less, and more or less got along. If there was ever some dissension, it was usually over something someone did, not because of who they were. There was a man who mowed the various fields and meadows named Rufus Lake. He lived with his mom, Granny Lake, in a very small shack on Route 30. I was only in this house once, but I recall that it was very small, but it was well kept. All of the neighborhood kids liked Rufus, notwithstanding the fact that he could get a little grumpy occasionally. Poor kids, middle-class kids, and upper-class kids all found a way to live together, not only get along, but to become friends. Now I'm an old man today, and I have no idea how the kids in our area are getting along. I can see how the area is changing right along with the culture. Houses are selling for more money than any local person could ever afford or ever hope to afford. Kids are being priced out of their town and will most likely be forced to move. But where? Wealth inequality is not isolated to Dorset or Bennington County or Vermont. It's becoming a national issue that no one seems to know how to resolve. If you think this is going to change on its own, you have another thing coming. We live in hard times. That's nothing new for Vermonters. However, for too many Vermonters living a quality life, being able to support a family and living in peace and harmony is becoming more difficult with each passing day. Perseverance is in our DNA. Vermonters know that a good life is not predicated on one's wealth so much as it is living in peace and safety, surrounded by good friends and family. No price tag can be placed on these things. This Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for having been born and raised in the great state of Vermont, a place that is changing, but still way better than just about any place else on earth. I am Bob Stannard, and this is the view from my place. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you.